Here's our last lesson for Unit 6, where we're going to focus on identifying if it represents a linear model, right? Something that's a straight line, linear line, or a quadratic model, one where you have a parabola, which is what we've been focusing on in this unit. Let's go ahead and take the notes at the top. We know that for linear, it's a straight line. You use y equals mx plus b, and what we're paying attention to is that the first difference is the same. You'll understand that after we do a few problems. For quadratics, it's a parabola. The main standard form equation is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And it's the second difference that is the same. Go ahead and pause the video so that you can take your notes. Now let's do number 1 now that you have the notes. What we're trying to do is we're using the table that's given to us to determine if it's linear or quadratic. Then we're writing an equation to represent the data. So what we mean in those notes where it said the first difference or the second difference, that's what we're finding. Over here, you want to find the difference in the table from the first y to the second y. We notice that they're adding 4. Adding 4. Adding 4. Adding 4. These are all the same. If we want to do a second difference, I made a mistake. This one is adding 2. My apologies. But let's keep going. Over here, what we also notice is from here to here. Okay, they added 2, they added 1, they added 2, and they added 2. So if you look at this part, right, well, it only went 1 here and 2 here, so I wonder if it skipped 2, if it would be the same. Let's ignore this part and this part, right, because they didn't really go in a pattern. This didn't count by 2s. Over here, it counted by 1s. You have to be careful there. So what we notice about this is that it does create a line. It is linear because we can also plot our points. So we have a -2, -7, which is here. 0, -3. 1, -1. 3, 3. And 5, 7. If you notice from here, it is clear that it is a line. So what we want to do is be able to graph, or now that we've graphed it, we want to write our equation. Y equals, we want to find our slope, right? We want to find our slope, which we've noticed here is 2. So if we actually take a look at our x table, if this was counting by 1s, we would notice that our difference here was 2. So we get 2x, and we see our y-intercept because it's given to us here, -3. This makes a little bit more sense if we go here to number 4. Find the difference. Over here, well, they're going down by 1 the entire time. So I know this is linear because it's not jumping around everywhere. It's counting by 1s, and also this is counting up by 2. So there's a pattern here, so it's not messing with anything. So we know that it's linear. If we were to graph it, we'd get 0, 5, -2, 6, -4, 7. I can actually identify the slope from here because it's 1/2. And it's a -1/2 x. Here's our y-intercept, +5. So we wrote our equation, we identified that it's linear. Let's take a look at number 2. I know we're skipping around a little. This difference is -3. This difference is -1, +1, +3. So this is the same as this. This is the same as this. That shows us a pattern where this could possibly be parabola, but let's check the second difference. To get from -3 to a -1, we added 2. To get from -1 to +1 on the number line, you added 2. To +1 to +3, you added 2. These are the same, which makes this a quadratic. You can also use vertex form to write this because you might have your x-intercepts. Or we can use our vertex here, right? Not x-intercepts. You can have your vertex point here. If you had intercept form is if you had your x-intercepts. We don't have our x-intercepts here. We use our vertex. So y equals x plus 1, not minus 1, squared, minus 2, because it's a negative 2. And if we were to expand this out into standard form, you get y equals x squared plus 2x minus 1, because we FOIL it out, combine like terms, and go from there. You can also graph it. There is a way for you to find out if there is an a, right? If an a needs to go over here, what you do is you take the second difference and you divide it by 2. So here's kind of cleaner notes here that I can show you. You want to divide that second difference by 2 so that you can figure out what your a is. I want you to use this method now for number 3. Go ahead and try it yourself. Pause the video. Now that you've done number 3, I will show you the answers on this page and make sure you check number 3 so you're clear on what to do. So essentially what you're doing is practicing this over and over and over again. Sometimes you'll be able to plot the points, sometimes you won't be able to. There is a third type of model, which we're not going to learn how to do just yet, but you will get to it in Algebra 2. It's called an exponential model. It's an exponential growth because from left to right, it's going up. Or maybe there's an exponential decay, which is from left to right going down. I might throw it in there just to throw you off to be like, wait, it's not following the first difference, it's not following the second difference, I'm a little confused. Go ahead and practice on the next few pages, because what you're doing here now, even though I don't give you the chart, you can create your table from here. You can create an x and y, create your table, plot some points, figure out first difference, second difference, and go from there. Continue to review and practice. I'm going to display go ahead and pause, and then I'm going to display the answers to this page. Here are the answers for numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can pause the video as you check your answers. And the directions just wanted you to determine if it was quadratic or linear. You weren't writing any equations. And here's the answers to numbers 5 and 6. Number 5, as you can see, it's an exponential model. I'm letting you know that so that you can see how you would graph something like that and how to determine it. It's because we notice there's multiplication in the mix, not just addition or subtraction in our differences. And that's it for the lesson.